Hi everybody, how you doing? I'm Pabs, a writing VTuber and an artist, and today we're going to be working on a variation on the model that I'm using right now. So, as y'all may have heard, I've been using very recently a program called Pngtuber Plus to have my model appear the way it does, and it's been treating me really well. I enjoy using Pngtuber Plus. It suits the kind of general vibe that I hope to achieve. That being said, I did find out that apparently in the most recent update, they implemented a new, what do you call it, like a new feature that lets you, the developer. I think the developer is just one person. So again, big thank you to that person. I probably have their name here somewhere. Bubba, what's the name of this developer? Kaya Kairos. Yes. So Kaya Kairos made the program. I'm pretty sure it's just the one person. So thank you to them for a wonderful program. Right. So I wanted to try and figure out the animation for this. So the thing is that Pngtuber Plus does not use conventional animation. It has a, hang on, let's say this is going to be like 400 by 400. This is not going to be a particularly complex mechanism. So Pngtuber Plus is not, as the name implies, it mainly uses PNG files. That means that it does not accept GIF or GIF, as you would call it, files. It does not accept APNG files. There was actually a user on the forums that asked, hey, can I use APNG files? So the result is no. The thing that you need to do to make an animated sprite, both either talking or in neutral, like an idle animation, is that you need to do a sprite sheet. I have never done one of those before, but thankfully, yeah. Let me get this started. So I think new timeline, frame rate. Let's call it 24. Scene number, shot number, division line. Sure, why not? Okay. It's been a while since I've used the animation suite for Clip Studio Paint. Anyway, I'll start making the animation and then we can talk on what exactly we need to do with that. So, what would we start with? Let's see, there's preset, center frames 24, playback time measured in frames. Okay, new file, create an animation folder. Okay. Let me just get rid of everything here. I don't think you can make a blank. Yeah, there we go. That's about as blank as we can make it. Okay, so I think it's, yeah, new animation folder. There we go. Okay. All right, if I recall correctly, what we need to do is to excuse me, I've got something in the back of my throat today for some reason. I'm feeling fine, so I don't think it's an actual illness. All right, let's see. And you timeline try to make the thumbnail size none. Okay, and the 3. Oh, I see. Okay. Right. Okay. Now I remember. All right, so what we want to do is hands off the animation folder for the time being. What we're going to do is that we are going to do something in here. So we're going to make it outside of the animation folder first and then inside the animation folder. So what we're going to do is we're going to use, let's use this pen. We're essentially going to make a very weird scrunkly Pabs to start. My tablet is not connected. This has all been for naught. Okay, let me connect my tablet and reopen CSP, and then we'll we'll give this another shot. I promise I'm normally more professional than this. Oh, I think you could see my background there for a second. Good thing I don't keep anything important on there, other than my schedule. And that's publicly available information. All right, let's just forget about the animation filter for a hot minute here, right? And let's just make the weird, scrunkly little guy that we need to animate. Okay, so I think first things first, we're going to need to make frame 1. And actually, hang on, I got another idea too. We'll cycle between, let's say, 3 frames for the talking and the neutral. So we'll have one with mouth open and one with mouth closed. All right. All right. This is gonna be, again, this is gonna be like an absurdly simple sprite. I'm talking as rudimentary as banging 2 rocks together to make fire. This is gonna be this is gonna be the equivalent of like those handprint artworks that you see in Neolithic caves. There we go. See, the thing is, the idea behind this one is to use a technique called line boiling. You can see this a lot in like things like in some cartoons. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but the idea is to essentially make the drawing move even though it's standing still. And we're going to do that by making the lines go weird and go ham. Then the next part is the other hand. So the reason that I'm doing this as an animation first, rather than there are lots of benefits to first making it as a GIF file and then converting it to a website. Mainly that it's the only one that I've seen so far that works. Because earlier, before stream, I was trying to tussle with this one. I've been using a lot of like sprites to work with Pngtuber Plus. I actually have. Hang on, let me pop the trunk open on this one. Yeah, you're about to get a real peek behind the curtain. So, here we go. I actually when I was flying around with Pngtuber Plus, I actually used this sprite from Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door of the character called Grubba to try out the program because this is kind of like the animation style that I wanted. As you can see, he's not very responsive, but the bones of it are there. Then if I just go back and open up a good old reliable. Yeah, also, another reason why I made this sprite like 400 by 400, this canvas like 400 by 400, is because I think my current avatar is around 4,000 by 4,000, and he's huge. How big are these lines, by the way? 9.7. All right, let's make it an even 10. Let's round it up. And we can apply that to the normal ink as well. I know it looks kind of thick around the lines here, but I'm gonna need y'all to actually no. We could probably make it a little bit thinner around the lines. Maybe round it down to 9 rather than 10. Round it down. Yeah, I think that's a little better. All right. So the tutorial that I saw for line boiling posits that the way to do it is that you need 4 total frames. What you need is frame 1, which is going to be the normal one. Frame 2, which is going to be very similar to the first one, but with everything kind of blunted. They use the simplify tool. I'm going to go one step further and mess around with like the line thickness. But yeah, simplify vector line. Process whole line? Sure, why not? All right, let's try these parts here. I think the Simplify tool should be pretty good. And then we apply it even more for the fourth one. So we maybe increase the brush size a little bit so we can really get some collateral damage going. What are you doing down there? Whatever. Let it rock. Who even cares? All right. And then what we do is that we duplicate that second frame so that we can have a full loop of 4 frames. All right. So when we do that, what we're going to do as well is we're just going to, I don't know how to do that similarly with the colors. We could just like fill them in normally and let it rock like that, but a little bit of I feel like we have a good opportunity to do something messy. So let's try and take that opportunity. Let's actually, instead of using the normal fill, let's use the marquee tool. What the hell? Why not? The lasso tool, I mean. Okay, fill it there. Fill this thing too. Actually, let's make these guys a different color. Like, just slightly different. That's too different. That's too different. Also, I should probably take off my nightlight setting. Nightlight settings. There we go. Turn off now. There we go. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's sufficiently different that it's noticeable, but it's not like wow noticeable. You know, it's subtle. That's the word I was looking for. Let's do the other limbs first. Oh yeah, the hand too. Can't forget the hand. Okay, we'll do the rice. This is, I like, obviously fair warning, this might not be great to look at initially. Let's see, let's do it like this. Actually, I think having the pants be under the legs and the, okay, not under the legs, under the feet and under the hoodie. The pants go over the legs, broadly speaking, as a rule of thumb. Took me a while to figure it out, but hot tip for you. Pants generally go over the leg. There we go. Oh, right, and also the one for my logo. You know that thing that I use to distinguish myself in a professional context? That thing? It'd be really bad if I forgot to paint that in, wouldn't it? Yeah, we can make the logo thinner across the board, I think. Bump that down to 7. I think I hit it a couple times with the Simplify tool while I was doing my seasoning of the model, so I think it should be fine. This has some solid line width variety to begin with, so I think it's fine. All right, now where were we? Ah, yes. Okay, so that's for the first one. Then for the second one, we're essentially going to do the same thing, but over. We will use the original one as whatchamacallit, as a color palette. That's kind of the purpose of these super simplified experiments. Is we have the liberty to do stuff at smaller scales. Also, I need to remember the order in which I went. I think it was like shirt, head and limbs, pants, and then sandals. But I guess it'll be pants, then shirt, then limbs, I think. Yes. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Considering how I made it. I pity the fool who tries to use this as a tutorial for how they should use Pngtuber Plus. You absolutely can, but we've already had some major scuff on the way. Again, I'm not saying you can't. But I am saying that I will be impressed if you're able to follow along and have patience. So if there is somebody like that in the VOD gang, my respects and possibly condolences to you. Okay, there we go. Grab this one. Okay, there we go. Okay, now for the limbs. We can just make these into kind of like squares, I think. The head, I wanted there to be like an almost pentagonal shape here. No, see, there's like this angle here on the head. I need to do it over it. Yeah, the square seems to have worked well enough. If I play my cards right, I'm going to be able to do something very silly with this. If I don't, then nothing will happen. So either way, I win. This reminds me a lot of like, what do you call like lino printing. You know when you carve out a chunk of linoleum with like carving tools, and you use that to make something to print with. It reminds me a lot of doing that. I had to do that once in middle school, I believe. Also, we can copy and paste this one up top here. Right. So next step is probably put this one here. This is going to be like the messiest one out of the three, I feel. Maybe if I add this one here. Yeah, that'll work. But yeah, I remember doing that a couple of times. I also remember getting hurt with the tools a couple of times too. Listen, remember, if you're working with anything sharp, always cut away from you. Got it? All right, look me in the eyes so you understand. Wait, no, that doesn't work. I don't have eyes. Look at it, look at the kind of mouth of the sack that I have. Look at that and promise me. Listen, if you look at that area, they say you need to look people in the eye when you talk to them, right? As a kind of general show of courtesy / confidence. But I think if you're talking to me, I think the best you can do is either kind of look at my mouth or kind of like try and look at the space right above my mouth to try and be polite. I'm also not very good at looking people in the eyes. I think like my eyes tend to wander a lot when I talk to people. I look at my hands while I'm moving them while I talk, or I look at like something far away. I think my eyes or I do try to look people in the eyes, but I think like my brain is like, hey, what's that shiny thing over there? And I'm like, oh yeah, what? I don't even get distracted. It's more like I just need to be hyper aware of my surroundings. All right. So we have we have the closed mouth frames. Now what we need is frames with the open mouth, because again, that's kind of how Pngtuber Plus works. We might actually be able to do something like a talking mouth sprite if that's the case. No, I feel like having it open like this is probably for the best. I've been trying to fine tune it a little bit, right? So that I can more accurately try and have it follow my action, sync to my lip movements. That's, oh, there we go. But yeah, I want to try and fiddle around with the settings of it so it can it can sync with my lip movements a little bit better. Because that's one of the big complaints that I had about my Live 2D model is that it didn't sync to my lips very well for some reason. So yeah, I think this one, which uses a kind of sound thingy to determine when your mouth is open or shut, that's much better suited. In any case, okay. What were we doing? Right. So I think for this, we're just gonna have the mouth open, and then the only change to the color layer is gonna be that I have an extra thing of pink there. Okay, process whole line. Nope, we're going to only do one side at a time here. Okay, now we process whole line. Okay, and this one is basically the same, so we can just erase and repaste this one. We'll do the same for the color layer once we get that in play. God, this might end up being either really cute or really hard to look at. I'm leaning more that it's gonna be a mixture of both. Like it's gonna be cute, but also kind of hard to look at. Like the first time you see a pug or something, you know. I share many qualities with a noble pug. Small, easily frightened by vacuum cleaners. I've really got it together. All right. Wait, did I? Okay, I put these in the wrong place. Let's try that again. Little by little, I'm understanding more. All right, new animation layer, folder, whatever. New timeline. Okay. We do not see these two. Okay, so for this one, we have 3 frames, which is what we wanted. Good. All right. Let's just put these in here. What did I just... Oh, I see. That's really weird. Okay. Huh. What is even happening? Oh, I see. No, I don't see, actually. What? All right. Take this from the top. Take this from the top. Okay, we'll make all the layers visible. That's going to be step 1. Then step 2, I'm not sure what we're going to do for step 2 just yet. Also, we're going to name these just open and closed. For some reason, we still have frame 1 and frame 2 as folders here. I'm not bothered. I am not... I'm a little bothered, actually. But such is life. All right, merge selected layers. Wait, what? Oh, I see. All right, one more time from the top. Do not set these as reference layers. We don't need that. I don't even remember what reference layers do per se. And now I never will. That's not true. I can just learn whenever. I'm just not going to do that now. But yeah, big lines, boiled lines, whatever this is called. All right, so we are going to have to put these guys in here. All right. There we go. Actually, we're going to need one more. There we go. Can we also change the length of this clip? Hang on, edit timeline, project settings. Is there something like project settings? Show split view, animation layer, edit track. Oh. No, wait. Enable onion skin, new animation folder. Could we just get rid of this timeline? I guess not. Oh, here we go. Manage timeline. Duplicate, change settings. There we go. Scene number, shot number. Okay, that's not... Let's just delete that timeline. We'll make a new one. Playback time. 4, I guess? I don't know anything about the animation suite. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Right, all right. I think I remember now. All right, new animation cell. Please. Wait, oh, now I remember. Assign cell to frame. All right, it's time to name these suckers. Before I knew it, the names for the layers have gotten out of hand. Okay, there we go. That makes this easier. It does look a little bit like I'm being electrocuted, doesn't it? I'm doing that thing. You guys remember back when Bocce the Rock was streaming and everybody was riffing on that one scene where she's asked to make a a social media account and she's immediately like, nope. All right, let's see here. Oh wow, that is look at him go. Yeah, that's good. Send it. I should make this all bigger for a little bit. Hang on. Edit canvas size. Let's make it 1,000 by 1,000. How about that? Okay. And let's just center all this guy. Yeah, that's good. That's a little weird. Oh, wait, I think I know what's up. No, that's still... Okay, what if I moved him a little bit? Frame to frame. I think the issue is also the colors that I've used. I bet this is a little bit easier on the eyes if it's like slowed down. Probably. Possibly. Hopefully? I'm sure it's fine. Alright, let's export this guy to GIF. Export animation, animated GIF. Alright, let's put this in my art folder. How do I make a new folder here again? Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna call it, how about... GIF. Width, height, 1000, 1000, okay. Export range, 1 to 4. Frame rate, 24. Let's set that to, okay, 1. How about 1 frame per second? All right, let me open this guy up and see what we're working with. That's not moving. Hang on. Export animation, animated GIF. Let's try this. Pabs close. Okay, frame rate 1, export range 1 to 4, playback time, image number 1. Maybe if I... Hang on. Oh, I know, I need to export it at 24. Otherwise, it's gonna not export all the frames, I see. And check this out. Something that's a real disadvantage of Clip Studio Paint is that it doesn't seem to be able to export with transparent GIF. That might be a problem as well. Wait, actually, no, it won't be. That's actually a good thing. All right, never mind. We are so back. That being said, no, it's fine. Okay, well, that's good though. We know that it works for sure now. Then how about new animation folder? Then we just, is it for close? No, it's a for open. Okay, let's try this out again. Okay, we'll call this 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, praying this works. Okay, grab this one. And then finally grab this one. Oh, should we also need to make sure that it's more or less the same size, huh? The good thing is that we have a solid reference point for where that should be, which is around here, I believe. Yeah, a little bigger. Actually, what would be a neat idea is if we made the talking sprite just a little bit smaller. Or like the quiet sprite just a little bit smaller, so then it pops up a bit when it's talking. That should work. All right, how's this one? Yeah, it looks terrible. Drop it. No, I'm just kidding. It looks good. It looks good. That being said, animation in general just seems to have a talent for making me feel like I'm fighting for my life. Okay. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to remember what I was going to say. Right, I'm going to run these through the GIF to sprite sheet converter that the what do you call the developer recommended. Okay. Upload. Stack horizontally, please. Columns 5 rows auto. Sure, why not? Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the other one. Y'all can't see what I'm doing right now because that's got my browser. That's on my browser. So y'all will have to sit tight for a second. How do I change which GIF I'm converting? Oh, there it is. Okay, Pabs open. Stack horizontally. There we go. Convert to sprite sheet. Okay. Let me open these up in the program itself so you guys can see what we're working with now. As soon as... There we go. Yeah, so this is the finished sprite sheet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to grab these. There we go. And also we're going to grab this. Going to save those. I was going to say, I forgot that it doesn't actually matter what the background it exports with looks like, because now we can just have it as a sprite sheet and we can just edit it in situ. All right. So here's what's going to happen. I am going to grab these and I'm going to put them in the Pngtuber plus thing. All right. Pabs scrunkly. Again, I am very blessed to have a very simple and straightforward model. Okay. Which one is this? Oh, it's got a white outline though. That's all right. We'll let me just go back to Clip Studio Paint for a second and hit like expand by 1, maybe 2. Let's try. Let's do that again as well for this one. All right, where are we at? Yeah, that's looking much better. All right. Close. Open. All right, now we're gonna actually cook in the program itself. So I have this version of my sprite saved. I just need to. There we go. All right, this is gonna look a little gross to you, I think. I do essentially need to go erasing the items one by one. I'm slowly melting away. I'm disappearing. I'm being unmade. I'm succumbing to the nothingness. All right, there we go. And there goes my legs. Okay, now we can actually grab what I wanted, which is this and this. We can zoom in on those a bit. There we go. So off to the side, there's a sprite frames thing. So we have 4 frames. We're going to do that for this one too. Okay, that did work. Excellent. This one's going to be for mouth open. This one is going to be mouth closed. There we go. Okay, so that's the most rudimentary version of it. So now we're going to turn up the animation speed. There we go. Animation speed. Okay, so if we set it to 24, it'll look like it did in the GIF, I imagine. So I think we're going to set that down to like 10? Maybe 10? 10 sounds good. Let's do 12 to cut it cleanly in half. Or actually maybe 6 to have it at like... Hang on. 6 to have it at like a quarter of a speed, because I feel like that's good. All right. Now we can... Hang on. Yeah, okay, that does work. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, look at that. Nihoi, nihoi. All right. All right, I'm glad that this works. That being said, I do have to drag myself a little bit to the left. Or maybe just make myself smaller. I'm taking up a lot of real estate on the screen right now. There we go. I look so goofy. That's something to be happy about, though. It means that we've accomplished our mission. So yeah, good work. How long have we been streaming for, by the way? How long did this take exactly? Half an hour? Jeez. All right. Well, what we'll do is as follows. I am going to... All right, we've accomplished our mission for today, so I'm just going to open up the comic page that I've been working on and finish that, hopefully, to pad out more time. Where's the... There it is. Yeah, I've made some progress off stream as well. I think the last thing to do is the line art for panel 3. Thankfully, I put them on top of a cliff, so that way they can only see like part of the dome. Let me zoom in on this part. But yeah, I'm so happy it worked. Okay, so for reference, before I launched stream, like I said, I was trying to get a grip on the actual mechanics of the sprite work. And what ended up happening is that I decided to, like I said, I showed you guys earlier the model for the character called Grubba from Paper Mario to the Thousandth Year Door. I did the same thing, but for Luigi's battle sprite for Superstar Sega. I played a lot of like Mario RPGs as a kid. Astonishingly enough, never the actual game named Mario RPG, just the ones that happen to be Mario games that are also RPGs. I played a lot of those growing up, so I have a lot of memories of those. And so I basically struggled for like 3 hours trying to figure out what I was doing wrong, because no matter what I seem to do, first of all, I need to make Hawk's jetpack bigger. But no matter what I seem to do, it always seemed to clip weirdly. So I'm glad I eventually got wise to the fact that the actual developer even posted a link to what we should use to make our sprite sheets. And thankfully that worked out pretty great. Was the thing that the sponge car said actually like Nimoy Limoy? Hang on, what did he end up saying? Or not sponge car? Pencil drawing. There we go. SpongeBob Pencil Monster. Yeah, what did this guy say? What did he say? Okay, here we go. Frankendoodle is the name of the episode. Magic pencil. Where the hell? What is it? I can't find what he actually says. Mihoi Minoi. There we go. That's the one. Mihoi Minoi. All right. I was working on a comic page. I swear to God, I was working on a comic page. Okay, there we go. Let's do the jetpack. We'll draw Gora last because that's going to take a minute. But yeah. No, I'm glad to know that now I can make animated sprites. The thing is, I don't know if I'll use that very often. I might use it for something like a prop or something. Like, I remember the only time I've had to use an animated prop ever was when I made that chainsaw for Resident Evil 4. That I used that as a prop, chainsaw. Maybe I should revive that for the stream on Saturday. I'm playing a game called Bury the Hatchet, which is about a true crime fan finding out that a serial killer that they have reported a question mark on currently hangs out at like a gas station. It's quoted as a game about hiding things. I'm very excited to play it. It reminds me a lot of like DS era games, which seems like it'll be a lot of fun. From what I understand, Mocha, who is an allied force of the channel, is that is the weirdest way I could have put it. But yeah, Mocha worked on this game, so I'm excited to try it out. Yeah, they were the head writer and programmer, I believe. I don't know why the title head writer is specifically needed. I know most people that I know write with their heads or write using their heads. Well, no, you'd write using your hands specifically, but you don't see the handwriters being passed around as a title a lot. One of life's great mysteries, I suppose. Man, every single time I have to draw this jetpack from the back, I have to remind myself how many thingy-majigs are on the jetpack. Holes, the number of holes on the jetpack. There are exactly 6 holes. Some of which have more holes than others, technically speaking. All right. Get that thing away from me. Actually, no, hang on. Let me save this. Another thing that I've been meaning to do, I know that you can use certain programs to rewire, essentially. You know how in certain games you can rebind your controls? There are programs that let you do that with your ordinary keys as well, with just non-game programs. One of the ones that I remember being cited was Sharp Keys, but the issue with Sharp Keys is that it does it across the board rather than for specific programs, which is what I want. Because what I want is I want to be able to. Pngtuber Plus allows you to switch between sprite types, or not sprite types, like costumes, using the number pad. As y'all may know, I already use the number pad for something, but that's something being like actually maneuvering inside of the art program that I have. So I can't really, that's not really an option for me. However, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, no, these need to be way further spread out. There we go. Yeah, that should give us a little bit more leeway. Okay, then. Sometimes I get self-conscious of how thick I'm drawing arms. I remember I posted a picture the other day, right? I've been reposting a lot of art I've done over the years as part of October, right? I've been trying to post something new every day. And one of the ones that I did repost recently was this one I did for a character of mine called Marsala. This one here. And I noticed that her arms were way too skinny. Like, she's supposed to be a lanky person by nature, but I like it makes me straight up uncomfortable how how skinny these arms look. Conversely, there are times when I'm worried that I'm making them too thick. Like this one here, for example, like Horatio is obviously a big guy. You know, he's got he's got some body fat on him, so it makes sense that his arms would be super wide. But I remember, like, I think it was this arm here that I was like, is this too thick? Like this one right now seems just about right because of the thick cloth and everything that make up a Hawk's jacket. There we go. Okay, get rid of this part. Have this part here. Okay, perfect. Even though I wanted to take a break from doing comic work this week on stream, I ended up doing some anyway. I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, it was a very spontaneous thing. I think that's a thing as well. The reason I took a break from comic making this week is because I do feel like, I don't know, I've just recently been getting hit with some feeling of burnout for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's just I haven't been getting the right amount of sleep or something. It's probably that. But I don't know. For some reason recently, I've just felt really off my game, which is weird because like I've had a couple days off now, right? But I don't know how to put it. I don't know quite what's wrong, but I think I'll bounce back pretty soon. I'm a very healthy young man. It'll take much more than this to keep me down permanently. Yeah, I think it's just that I streamed it like 3 times in a row. I think that's what kind of like got me a little bit tired on it. That or it might just be an unrelated factor. In any case, we're working on it now, so productivity is up. This is at least a couple hours that I wasn't expecting to be working on it this week that I am. That's something to be happy about. Okay, there we go. Let me add a couple little lines here for the kind of fuzz on the undercut. Okay, then over here. Okay. This is a really well done hand. Hats off, helmets off to Pabs from the past. Oh, that's not a finger. Never mind. I was gonna say, really cool idea to have the fingers in the hand being represented by the square rather than the actual fingers themselves. Like unironically, that's a smart move. But then I realized, oh no, that's helmet. That's like that's the snout of the helmet. Whoops. Ah, whatever. I'm still a genius. Who cares? Let's see. Okay, will this go like this? I think so. Recently, I've been doing housework while listening to more Latin music. Right, I have a bunch of different playlists and songs saved up, but I've been recently hooked on doing chores to Latin music. I don't know. There's something about it that really picks me up. I found out that there's this one Bandcamp group called hang on, let me see if I can pull up the official name of these people. I had them around here. A little bit further on this. There we go. Okay, so Alex Trip Sands featuring Hatsune Miku, they released an album called Caribe Diva, which is a bunch of Latin music, which is sung by Hatsune Miku, which is fucking awesome conceptually. I love that. Got some bangers on there, yeah. This thumb is way too big. There we go. That should be a little bit more reasonable in terms of thumb size. Gonna be dominating the thumb war circuit. I do wonder if what the most, I have no doubt in my mind that there have been legit thumb wrestling competitions held in the past. There is a number one ranked thumb wrestler in the world who can kill you with his finger or, crush rocks with his with one knuckle alone. Some kind of ancient master like that. But I do wonder what the most kind of overpowering trait is in thumb wrestling, because I imagine flexibility is also a big factor, right? In order to slip out. Would contestants have to towel down or something before they begin the fight? Do they, if a guy just sweats really easily, if the guy has like hyperhidrosis or something, does he have like an unnatural advantage over dudes that don't because he can just like slip out from under grips more easily? Are there dudes who kind of try to discreetly oil their thumbs to more easily escape grapples? There have to be, right? I remember reading once upon a time a story about some kid who tried to cheat at this carnival fair game, I guess is the best way to describe it. He tried to cheat by so the name of the game was that they needed to drink this very gross tasting, very sour, I believe, drink and maintain a straight face. And this kid was able to cheat his way to victory by before drinking the concoction, he cooled his mouth off with ice for like 5 minutes so that the nerves on his tongue were completely numb by the time it was his turn. And I distinctly remember that this was presented as cheating for some reason. I don't think... Does that count as cheating? I feel like that's just like pre-game conditioning almost. That's like getting warmed up or something even. Against the spirit, maybe, but like against the rules, I don't know. But there might have been a rule that says you can't like prepare for it in advance. But I don't see anything wrong with what he did. That always bugged me a little bit. The other people should have wanted harder to win, I think. I remember there was this one Street Fighter 6 tournament called, and I remember the name distinctly, Honda's Horrible Hootenanny. The aim of this tournament, unlike most tournaments, wasn't necessarily to win. Obviously, winning was the end point. But the thing is, the tournament organizers permitted all manner of fraud. They straight up encouraged people to use lag switches to cheat their way to victory, to essentially do what it took to win, including but not limited to. And I remember this part most of all. Essentially, naming their character like something like E Honda, and then like they named their character E Honda so that when they showed up in the character selection, the character would be named E Honda, but they'd be playing as fucking Luke or something. Somebody who actually has a better matchup, like somebody who has a good matchup against Honda. And there was this other dude who either bribed the TO to win, or he basically got in before the guy who won against him, and basically told the TO, "Yeah, no, I totally won that." He lost, but he told the TO he won, and the TO believed him. So he won. He advanced. What a mess that game was! Oh my god. I feel like people could have legit died during that tournament. I don't know how, but I feel like somebody would have tried to carry out a hit on their like scheduled opponent. That's the kind of merciless battlefield that this was. God. I hope somebody else does that again sometime. At some point. It's too good of an idea. Too fun of an idea to not revisit. What if there was a fighting game tournament that just did not involve fighting games? Like, that's the thing. This guy did not play... Like, the guy whose YouTube video I watched that summarized the event didn't actually play any games of Street Fighter 6. He got through, like, 3 or 4 opponents before he actually had to even pick up the controller and play a game of Street Fighter 6. I don't think he even had the game bought. I am 100% serious. We need to have this sort of tournament in more contexts. Like I can't. Can you imagine the kind of primo grade Machiavelli shit that we're going to see in terms of psychological warfare if this becomes commonplace? We're gonna have people playing frickin' Hannibal the television series levels of mind games with their opponents. I would merely like to see it. We're gonna have like a reincarnation of frickin' Zhuge Liang with sweeping tournaments without playing a single round. I kind of want to see it. I'm not gonna lie, I do wish to see it just a little bit. I would not like to live in that timeline, but I would like to observe it casually. What did Horatio's like nose thingy look like? Hang on. Where is it? Oh, there he is. Oh, right. Hi, Marcella. Hi, Hawk. All right, let's get rid of these. There we go. Right. It looked like this. Let me use a circle tool before I lose my mind here. There we go. What did I just do? Oh, I see. I hit the numlock key. I was wondering why my desktop keyboard was blinking all of a sudden. I am wondering how I can make Horatio's face look friendlier because he does have like this. Oh, his eyes are way too big there. Hang on. Quit staring at me with them big old eyes. That's much better. There we go. That's much better. All right, where were we? Okay. Hang on. What does this look like without the reference? Yeah, okay. So I think the move here is to have the hat cover it up. Yeah, I think that's a pro gamer move here. Pro game. When did I start talking like that? Sometimes it does require a little bit of reflection to see how much your vocabulary has changed over time. It happens slowly sometimes, but other times it happens drastically enough that you're like, hang on, I didn't used to say things like that. And you have to wonder either when it started or when it became commonplace for you to talk like that. Okay, there we go. Smaller lines on that. There we go. Then, little by little, just combing this together. Oh yeah, how am I gonna work the ribbon in the hat with the horn? That's not a thing that I was expecting to have to figure out. Also, I did forget the horn in this panel right before here. I think that's going to be for the best if I just make the ribbon kind of skirt around the horn. I think that's a good idea. It's almost like actually that's a good idea. That may just kind of have the ribbon secure the hat to the horn. I've forgotten the horn in this one too. The hell's wrong with me? Oh, he doesn't even have a ribbon in this one. Actually, that's a good idea. Maybe I should just not have the ribbon. The ribbon has its charm, but if it's ultimately more of a hindrance than a help, I think it's better to just eliminate it. One less line to draw in the future. Right, where were we? Actually, where were we? Where were we? Oh, it's above this to-do list I made for myself. Right. Or rather, beneath it. Right, we don't need to worry about this thing anymore. Hmm. Okay, the other horn back here. Perfect. No, it doesn't have to quite the... Wait, I can just copy and paste the other horn. What am I doing? There we go. That works perfectly, actually. Okay. Then next up, we grab these and then these. This is before I think I settled on Horatio's actual outfit for this part. Okay, put the knot here. Okay, take this out. There we go. That's the collar on that side done. Okay, there we go. And then perfect. Okay, then next up, gonna be this part. Okay, now we can draw Gora. This kind of chicken beak look is very funny. There we go. Chickens and lizards are basically the same thing, except one has feathers and the other doesn't. I reckon even some lizards have feathers still. There has to be at least one species in the world that's still got them. I know there's like at least one type of snake that still has legs. Although, granted, they are very, very vestigial. They're kind of it's kind of gross how they walk around, but also really cool. Like it's gross in the way that you don't ever see snakes walking, so it's like, oh, your body registers it as like, oh wow, that's kind of weird. But after you see them go at it for a little bit, you're like, oh man, these guys actually know how to do it. These little guys got what it takes. There's this one. Okay, so in fighting games, there are characters that you call gorillas because they don't take a whole lot of like, essentially they do a lot of damage and they don't take they don't have as many technical aspects as say like, a set play character or something. So a very common reaction, especially to characters like Soul Bad Guy and Leo Whitefang in Guilty Gear at least, is like this reaction image of this Danny Trejo manga character looking guy that has a gorilla in a car with him, and the gorilla is driving the car and he's like, this gorilla, he can do it. Any character that I play is automatically a gorilla character. I don't know anything about move lists. I don't know anything about like what do you call? I don't know anything about freaking combos. I am here to mash buttons. All right, let's see here. Did I actually give Gora any jewelry? No, I didn't. All right, so this bracelet is not really pertinent. We can thin out her wrist a little bit too. Although we should make the hand a little bit bigger just to match the face. Okay, there we go. And place this one back here. Oh yeah, I think I didn't show you guys what the finished panel 1 background looks like. Yeah, I finally shaped up and got a model running for the big gun as well as for the scaffolding around it. It looks a little messy from up close, but from a distance it actually works pretty well. Especially since this place will be heavily shaded to begin with, so I'm not too worried about all that. But yeah, no, we have a reference going now, so that's going to make my life a lot easier in the future. Ideally. Hopefully. Possibly. Fingers crossed. If we lowered the clipboard. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. And then finally, Perfect. The shoulder's kind of busted here. Let me fix it up a little. Actually, this works pretty well too. Okay, erase this, erase that. Put in the neckline. Okay, that's being covered by the elbow. Can we? Yeah, this works. That being said, I'm gonna need to make this forearm a little bit smaller. Okay, there we go. Can I thin this part out a little bit so that it's a little bit easier to peer through? Perfect. Okay. Copy and paste this guy. Couple dozen times, and well, no, not a couple dozen times, just like 4 times. That is not a couple dozen. That is in fact like a quarter of a couple dozen, a third of a couple dozen. I briefly forgot my 12 times table. Happens to the best of us. 12 is a very tricky number. I once saw somebody talking about like switching to base 12, since it has some advantages over base 10. But I'm against it on 2 principles. First, that there's a lot of reasons to use base 10. Like, for example, it's a little bit easier to count with your, like, it's more intuitive essentially because we have 10 fingers and toes, right? So adding 2 additional numbers to that would require 1, using one that isn't very intuitive, and 2, it would require adding a couple of numbers that aren't really numbers. They're like letters used to represent numbers. So essentially, because we're switching to a base 12, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then A and X or something, or A and B or something, to represent a number between 11, well, not even 11, between 9 and 12, because 10 is like the maximum. So I think that was like one proposed way to do it, is to just stuff 2 numbers between 9 and 10. It's a very fascinating idea, but I'm, like I said, I'm kind of against it. And also, I think I was also against it because it would mean that would make imperial units make more sense than metric, and that just doesn't feel right. As a unit of measure. So yeah, that's my stance on the base 12 metric system. I can't deny it would be interesting though, although it would be very difficult to learn. I remember I read this one article about a dude who learned how to use the Dvorak keyboard. So the Dvorak keyboard is a style of keyboard where some of the letters are switched around. So you have like the most common letters in the alphabet on like the home row. So when you're resting your fingers on the keyboard, your hands will automatically be able to reach them. The most common letters used in the alphabet among the English language, you'll be able to reach them like almost immediately. compared to like the more broad spectrum of hand motions you would have to use for QWERTY style in some cases. However, this is. I read an article from a guy who's been using it for like 10 years, to the point that he now has some difficulty about adapting to QWERTY keyboards. And he says that the increase in speed that the Dvorak offers is essentially negligible. But what it did do is it taught him to touch type much more consistently, which is why he believes he can type faster, not because of the placement of the actual key caps. Hmm. I like the idea that Gora, for some reason, has like super long eyelashes as a lizard woman, because that, in reality, that's Emelian under there. I don't know. I feel like if you had eyes, even if you could shapeshift to a species that doesn't really need them, it'd still feel weird if you no longer had eyelashes. You'd get like Phantom Limb, but like for eyelashes. Phantom Lash. I don't know. What would I miss the most if I became like a non-human species? I guess probably having opposable thumbs. Unless those are given, but like if I became like a non-human, I would really miss having opposable thumbs. I know some cats have 5 beans on each paw rather than the normal and predictable 4 because of a dew claw or something. Or just because of some freakish genetic aberration. Those little freaks better not develop any technology to overthrow humanity. I don't think anybody had cats take over the world in a literal sense, not just in the sense that they're adorable and they have a lot of like internet cloud sense. I don't think anybody had that on their bingo cards. If they did, I would be surprised and a little suspicious. Like, if somebody manages to predict a major world event that is unpredictable, I feel suspect of their decision making abilities. Not because they were accurate, but because they were accurate in a way that couldn't be predicted, right? Important, does Rice Beast have the same PNG form? Shoot, I forgot about Rice Beast actually. Send him in. Let me actually hit up VTube Studio. Hang on. Let me hit up VTube Studio. I haven't made it. Oh god, get him out. Get that man. Get him out of here. Hang on. There we go. Now Rice Beast is the only one who gets to be in PNG form, in Live 2D form. He's not moving very much right now. Hang on. Can I just like hang on? I've got an idea for how to do this. That's very funny. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the real Rice Beast like off screen, and then have this. Oh right, hang on. I would need to. Oh god. Oh lord, look at that. This is such a mess. I forgot about Rice Beast. I forgot about my boy. There we go. They're behind me menacingly, like some kind of stand. Hmm. That's also another thing about Pngtuber Plus that I actually miss a little bit of having a Live 2D version is that I'm now adding accessories as a matter of yeah, perfect. There we go. Exactly as intended. Yeah, that's another workaround that I'm gonna have to find for Pngtuber Plus. Rice Beast. I mean, I could just have him as a GIF. I know this one VTuber who has like this small row of dancing dogs at the bottom of his stream for some reason that I think the viewers summon. Or they're summoned with like subscriptions or something. I don't really recall what summons dogs, but I know they're there. So maybe I can just have small dancing rice beasts summoned to my side. Like some kind of twisted rice beast parade. There wouldn't be anything particularly twisted about that. I guess it'd just be new. New Rice Beast Parade sounds like some kind of. That would actually be a pretty good band name. You know, somebody asks, what happened to the old Rice Beast Parade then? And you'd have to give them like a solemn look. And, you know, if this were a movie, it would have like flashbacks to like a big fire where the parade grounds burned down. And we'd be like, we don't talk about the old parade. Yeah. There's an older library. So near where I live is a library. And closer to that is another library, but this one, they're both public libraries, but both of them are closed down. No, one of them is closed down. The other one is open and operational. The one that's closed down, I'm not sure why it closed down. Maybe it was just an old building or they wanted to beautify the place a bit because the new library has very contemporary architecture. I don't know. I don't know. Do I prefer more modern architecture or more classic architecture? I don't really have a preference, I don't think. They're all buildings to me, I guess. They get different feelings when exploring them. I feel much safer exploring like more contemporary architecture than I do like old classical architecture. Whenever I visit a place which has like older architecture that I can just like kind of stumble around in and kind of get lost in, I always feel more less at ease than I would if it was like a modern shopping mall or something. Today was a holiday and the shopping mall near my place it was just completely empty when I got there, which makes sense. Nobody's working. It's the ghosts. It might be the ghosts. Speaking of weird architecture, I've been reading House of Leaves recently. I've tried to pick up House of Leaves, and it's been fun so far. I've enjoyed mostly like the actual documentary bits. The bits where it switches over to like the character editing the narrative are kind of a bummer. Johnny Truant is something of a chump. But, you know, they still manage to be entertaining, so I'm not really that mad. Okay, how does Gora's boots look like? They're very tall. But yeah, I have been enjoying House of Leaves. I love it when it focuses on the actual weird aspects of the house. Like some dude said like, oh, the compasses don't work inside the house anymore, and I'm like, yes, clapping and hollering and cheering and putting my hands together for the house. I hope the house wins. I'm not gonna lie. I hope the ending of the book is just the house eats everyone. The end. Unfortunately, from what I understand, the ending is much more complicated than that, and possibly up to interpretation. But otherwise, yeah, I've been enjoying my book. I have yet to get to any of like the super weird formatted pages. Like I recently just got to the very first page that has like the citations like smack dab in the middle of the page, like a window. That meme, I know you're fighting demons, but I'm rooting for the demons to take you out. Oh my god, that's almost exactly like how it is. Like it'll switch over to Johnny's POV, and he'll be like, "Oh, I'm so sad. I do so many drugs. I have so much sex. Pity me." And I'm like, "I hope the house eats you, bro. I hope the beast gets you." I don't think Johnny ever actually goes into the house. It'd be super weird if Johnny actually went to the house himself, because it just wouldn't make sense. I think. Also, the house might have moved entirely by the end of this. I don't know. I've never read the book. I got interested in it after watching this documentary on a Doom mod called MyHouse.wad, which takes a lot of inspiration from the book. So I'm not going into it fully blind, but I am hoping against hope. That is a funny meme, though. I know you're fighting demons, but I'm rooting for the demons to take you out. It reminds me of this one variant. There's that phrase, right? Hill to die on. It means generally that you're going to stick into your guns in a way that is not beneficial to you. And the phrase that I heard was weird hill to die on, but at least you're dead. Which I thought was a very spectacular kind of insult. There's something it has a lot of panache, that one. Okay, there we go. Let's see. There we go. I will say, I am glad that we have the phrase "fighting your demons" because sometimes it do feel like that is the exact feeling. Sometimes, like it does feel like I'm out here trying to beat down the things that I don't that I am trying to not be. Not even not be. It's just like the things that are against my better interest. Sometimes the name of the demons is dirty dishes in the sink. And it takes a powerful holy weapon called getting up and doing chores to defeat them. I remember seeing this one post that was like, "Your house is haunted by a powerful demon named methane gas, and you must summon an exorcist named HVAC technician to get him out." I wonder what other kind of demons exist. You have a powerful demon named Stovefire, and the only way to defeat him is to summon the powerful magician Lid. Do not throw water on grease fires ever. This is a PSA. You will cause a small explosion, and it will ruin your day. You will not be getting your deposit back. I wonder if like insurance companies look forward to Thanksgiving because a bunch of people are going to be trying to fry a turkey and cause grease fires. So hopefully they'll take out like fire insurance on their homes. I remember seeing in my building there was this poster that said that it's currently like a fire safety awareness month. I feel like most months are months to be aware of fire safety. But that's just me. Most of the fires that I've set have been on purpose. Very few of them have been accidental. Barbecues, stuff like that, fireworks. Those have all been on purpose. When I was a kid, I used to love burning hair on candles. Like I would just pluck a bit of hair out of someone else's scalp because I don't have any, and I would burn that on the candle and have this really gross smell that I was fascinated by. Man, I hope that's not psychopath behavior because I look upon those times fondly. Yeah, I really hope that's not like a serial killer flag. I'm gonna remove the eyelashes from this one because it just confuses the silhouette a little bit. Not quite there yet. Okay, that's good. I guess it'd be more of a pyromaniac flag than anything else, huh? Pyromania is definitely problematic insofar as the logistics, but I don't think it's like specifically evil as far as like obsessions go. I feel like there's a little bit of pyromania in all of us, you know. Like I feel like if you go to like a campfire and you feel like a connection to that experience, like if you've been near a campfire, you're like, oh man, this is definitely caveman brain enrichment. Really, no other way to describe it. I'm going to hang on. There we go. Okay. I guess I'll have her hand up like this on this frame on this part of the panel too. I need to move her a little bit further up and to the right. Okay. Hmm. Oh, I wonder what jobs mostly involve fire. I guess working at a foundry would be for the best. You know, I don't think firefighting would be a good kind of match for a pyromaniac, because the entire point of firefighting is putting out fires. What you want to do is stoke them, I guess. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the condition of pyromania. Insofar as his actual clinical definition. Let's see. Oops. I took out too much. All right. We can also thin out this line here. Okay. There we go. Okay, then like this. For the background, I can probably just copy and paste what's on the previous panel and scale it up. Let's just take the whole thing, why not? We could probably get rid of the sketch reference for the time being. What the? Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. I totally forgot our tail in all these drawings, didn't I? Oh man. Let's go ahead and fix that real quick. Did I actually have those in the sketches? Oh, I totally did. Tails are the one thing I always forget. Tails and anything like on the legs, leg things in general. Things below the waist are what I tend to forget. Like tails, I remember during the first issue, a real consistent problem with me is that I kept forgetting to draw the thigh holster that Hawk has. I guess it's because my own legs are very stubby and unremarkable. They're very sturdy, don't get me wrong, but they're not particularly exciting legs. Although they do have a little bit of animation to them now, which is nice. Let me make this Gora here smaller. Let's turn on the line thickness on like this entire thing. Okay, lower that. There we go. Actually, I think my kind of forgetfulness of like the tail also extends to anything like in the back of the character, because I remember ponytails and such are also kind of difficult for me to keep a handle on. Is there anything that I never forget to draw? 4 fingers, I guess. I'm very good at remembering the number of fingers on somebody's hand. Unless they have an abnormal number of fingers, like 3 or 6, I guess. In which case, we're back to square one, I suppose. Such is life. Okay, there we go. Actually, somebody with 6 fingers would probably adapt really well to a base 12 system. Assuming assuming their natural state is having 6 fingers and it is, whatchamacallit, it displays chirality as a specimen. Okay, then we got the tail back here. We can start adding actual bands to it rather than just straight lines. This one could be a little longer. We can have it kind of shake a little bit to, kind of like when somebody snaps to attention in cartoons and they kind of like wobble a little bit like laminated paper. Kind of like that. Okay, let's grab this. We can substitute this for a normal circle. Okay, now we can lower the opacity on the Goras. This one's going to be covered by something in the foreground anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. I think the one that I'm most worried about is probably this one. I like it having a little bit of space there for Gora to just kind of exist in the background there, so I'm going to leave that in. Okay, there we go. No, that's way too early to... Oh no, actually that's just about right for the curvature of what it would have. Okay, there we go. Okay, we'll need something else for this other part of the sphere, so I'm just going to cut it off right around here. Oh man, this is gonna be a real mess to color. Sucks to be the guy who has to do that. Wait. Ah, whatever. From this distance, they look kind of more like potholes than fences, but I think the effect is solid, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay, then that'll curve around to here. Okay, at that point, it'll be cut off by a ratio. And we can have maybe this thing back here. Oh, what does that look? Okay, it's like a little staircase. Very good. I am not, on God, I am not going to regret my decision to draw backgrounds without a reference. After all, it's too late for regrets now. I forgot to draw the other half of Horatio's arm back here. Thankfully, his tail isn't in this panel, so we don't need to worry about me forgetting that one. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, we can get... Oh, wait, those are on a different layer. My bad. Okay, perfect. Actually, we'll put this one a little lower. Actually, let's just have this be all belly on the frame here. Move this a little bit up. Shrink this. Perfect. Okay. Right, then the rest of the background. I think the only other thing that would be in frame here would be the shipping containers way far off, and whatever this thing is supposed to be. Is there anything else here? Oh, okay, yeah. I am not going to think about how this perspective works. However, I will finish drawing the kind of rust gate on the sphere. I could probably... I'll just copy its general shape. No, that doesn't look right. Abort mission on that rust mark. Okay, there's a couple more kind of like holes here. Okay, and then there's 1, 2, 3. 4, 5. What's the fifth one? There it is. Okay. Okay. That's the line work for page 1 done. Oh my god, everything hurts. This one's been a real battle, folks. I'm not sure what to tell you. I love making difficult things look easy, but this one's just been a real... That first panel really took a lot out of me. Alright. Good work today. Yeah, who is streaming right now? ¿Quién anda por ahí? Oh, JB is doing pixel art, so we can go say hi. Yeah, besides that, thank you all for joining me today. Had a lovely time making this slick new model. Yeah, have a good rest of your week. I will be back on... Which day? Which day will I be back on? I will be back on Wednesday to do a little bit of character design. All right. Later, folks. Bye.